When You Are Old by W.B. Yeats. When you are old and grey and full of sleep, and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read, and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of the shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true, but one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars.
One afternoon I said to my mummy, "Who is this person in my tummy? He must be small and very thin, or how could he have gotten in?" My mother said from where she sat, "It isn't nice to talk like that." "It's true," I cried. "I swear it, mummy. There is a person in my tummy. He talks to me at night in bed, is always asking to be fed. Throughout the day he screams at me, demanding sugar buns for tea. He tells me it is not a sin to go and raid the biscuit tin. I know quite well it's awfully wrong to guzzle food the whole day long, but really I can't help it, mummy. Not with this person in my tummy." "You horrid child," my mother cried. "Admit it right away, you've lied. You're simply trying to produce a silly asinine excuse. You are the greedy guzzling brat, and that is why you're always fat." I tried once more. "Believe me, mummy, there is a person in my tummy." "I've had enough," my mother said. "You'd better go at once to bed." Just then a nicely timed event delivered me from punishment. Deep in my tummy something stirred, and then an awful voice was heard. A snorting, grumbling, grunting sound that made my tummy jump around. My darling mother nearly died. "My goodness, what was that?" she cried. At once the tummy voice came through. It shouted, "Hey there, listen you! I'm getting hungry. I want eats. I want lots of chocks and lots of sweets. Get me half a pound of nuts. Look snappy or I'll twist your guts." "That's him," I cried. "He's in my tummy. So now do you believe me, mummy?" But mummy answered nothing more, for she had fainted on the floor.
Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf by Roald Dahl. As soon as Wolf began to feel that he would like a decent meal, he went and knocked on Grandma's door. When Grandma opened it, she saw the sharp teeth, the horrid grin, and Wolfie said, "May I come in?" Poor Grandmama was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. And she was absolutely right. He ate her up in one big bite. But Grandmama was small and tough, and Wolfie wailed, "That's not enough. I haven't yet begun to feel that I have had a decent meal." He ran around the kitchen yelping, "I've got to have another helping." Then added with a frightful leer, "I'm therefore going to wait right here till little Miss Red Riding Hood comes home from walking in the wood." He quickly put on Grandma's clothes. Of course he hadn't eaten those. He dressed himself in coat and hat. He put on shoes, and after that he even brushed and curled his hair, then sat himself in Grandma's chair. In came the little girl in red. She stopped, she stared, and then she said, "What great big ears you have, Grandma!" "All the better to hear you with," the wolf replied. "What great big eyes you have, Grandma!" said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with," the wolf replied. He sat there watching her and smiled. He thought, "I'm going to eat this child. Compared with her old grandmamma, she's going to taste like caviar." Then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But Grandma, what a lovely great big furry coat you have on." "That's wrong," cried Wolf. "Have you forgot to tell me what big teeth I've got?" "Ah, well, no matter what you say, I'm going to eat you anyway." The small girl smiles, one eyelid flickers, she whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. A few leagues later, in the wood, I came across Miss Riding Hood. But what a change! No cloak of red, no silly hood upon her head. She said, "Hello, and do please note my lovely furry wolfskin coat."
First Day at School by Roger McGough. A million billion miles from home, waiting for the bell to go. To go where? Why are they all so big, other children? So noisy. So much at home they must have been born in uniform, lived all their lives in playgrounds, spent the years inventing games that don't let me in, games that are rough, that swallow you up. And the railings, all around the railings. Are they to keep out wolves and monsters? Things that carry off and eat children. Things you don't take sweets from. Perhaps they're to stop us getting out, running away from the lessons. Lesson? What does a lesson look like? Sounds small and slimy. They keep them in glass rooms. Whole rooms made of glass. Imagine. I wish I could remember my name. Mummy said it would be useful. Like wellies when there's puddles. Yellow wellies. I wish she was here. I think my name is sewn on somewhere. Perhaps the teacher will read it for me. Teacher, the one who makes the tea.
Please do not feed the animals. It's the summer holidays and we're at the zoo. Please do not feed the animals. Please do not feed the ostriches sandwiches or the polar bears eclairs. Do not offer the wombats kumquats or the rattlesnakes fruit cakes. Remember that piranhas are not allowed bananas or partridges, sausages. Never approach a stork with things on a fork or the bustard with a plate of custard. No leopard likes anything peppered, and meerkats disdain Kit Kats. Remember that grapes upset apes, and meringues do the same for orangutans. Most importantly, do not feed the cheetah your teacher.
This poem is called Oh Tell Me the Truth About Love, and it's by W.H. Auden. Some say that love's a little boy, and some say it's a bird. Some say it makes the world go round, and some say that's absurd. And when I asked the man next door, who looked as if he knew, his wife got very cross indeed, and said it wouldn't do. Does it look like a pair of pyjamas, or the ham in a temperance hotel? Does its odour remind one of llamas, or has it a comforting smell? Is it prickly to touch as a hedge is, or soft as eiderdown fluff? Is it sharp or quite smooth at the edges? Oh, tell me the truth about love. Does it howl like a hungry Alsatian, or boom like a military band? Could one give a first-rate imitation on a saw or a Steinway grand? Is it singing at parties a riot? Does it only like classical stuff? Will it stop when one wants to be quiet? Oh, tell me the truth about love. I looked inside the summer house. It wasn't ever there. I tried the Thames at Maidenhead and Brighton's bracing air. I don't know what the blackbird sang or what the tulip said, but it wasn't in the chicken run or underneath the bed. When it comes, will it come without warning? Just as I'm picking my nose? Will it knock on my door in the morning, or tread in the bus on my toes? Will it come like a change in the weather? Will its greeting be courteous or rough? Will it alter my life altogether? Oh, tell me the truth about love.
Friends by Abby Brown. How good to lie a little while and look up through the tree. The sky is like a kind big smile bent sweetly over me. The sunshine flickers through the lace of leaves above my head and kisses me upon the face like mother before bed. The wind comes stealing over the grass to whisper pretty things, and though I cannot see him pass, I feel his careful wings. So many gentle friends are near whom one can scarcely see. A child should never feel a fear, wherever he may be.
By Michael Rosen. Don't do that. Don't pull faces, don't tease the cat. Don't pick your ears, don't be rude at school. Who do they think I am? Some kind of fool? One day they'll say, don't put toffee in my coffee. Don't pour gravy on the baby. Don't put beer in his ear. Don't stick your toes up his nose. Don't put confetti on the spaghetti. And don't squash peas on your knees. Don't put ants in your pants. Don't put mustard in the custard. And don't chuck jelly at the telly. And don't throw fruit at a computer. Don't throw fruit at a computer. Don't what? Don't throw fruit at a computer. Don't what? Don't throw fruit at a computer. Who do they think I am? Some kind of fool?
Okay, my poem I've chosen is If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dream your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving mixture with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Thank you.
Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset by gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear with the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
The poem I've chosen is called Aim High to the Sky by James MacDonald. Aim high to the sky in all that you do, because you just never know what it takes to be you. Be strong and be brave, but at the same time be kind, and always be sure that you're using your mind.